There's something undeniably intriguing about holding a piece of history in your hand. A little disc of metal that carries not just monetary value, but stories of American culture and craftsmanship. This coin in our spotlight was minted in 1999, a year that may seem modern, but, in numismatic circles, it marks a unique chapter in U.S. coinage history. The 1999 U.S. one dime carries a blend of tradition and innovation. Its creation was a nod to the evolving standards of minting technology while paying homage to a lineage steeped in heritage. Collectors know that every coin has a soul, and this dime is no different. The process behind its minting involved a delicate balance between preserving the classic design elements that enthusiasts love and embracing newer techniques that increased efficiency and quality. While many might see it as just another coin, to the seasoned collector, its production methods and design nuances tell a story of an era when American mints strive to modernize without losing their storied past. For those who have been in the collecting world for a while, the design of the 1999 dime is instantly recognizable. On one side, the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt is rendered with a clarity that reflects both reverence and precision, a stark reminder of a time when leadership was as much about inspiration as it was about policy. The smooth details on the bust are contrasted by the intricate lettering and finely detailed inscriptions that carry historical significance. The reverse, featuring a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizes liberty, peace, and strength, values that are as timeless as the coin's legacy. Compared to earlier examples, the 1999 production introduced subtle alterations in the treatment of these motifs that have become a cherished hallmark among collectors. These minor shifts in design have, over time, resulted in certain varieties that command the attention of experts at auctions and in private collections alike. The rarity of this dime doesn't come solely from its production date. It's the culmination of limited-run strikes, slight variations during the minting process, and its subsequent survival rate that all contribute to its allure. While production numbers were relatively high compared to some rarer commemorative coins, the discernible differences in strike quality and even slight die variations in 1999 have made specific specimens highly sought after. Experienced collectors have honed their eye to differentiate between coins with what is known as deep strikes versus those with more modest impressions. The quest for a perfect specimen is part of what transforms numismatics from mere collecting into an art form. The 1999 dime offers an accessible entry point for many, yet it conceals complexities that invite deeper appreciation from those who have long nurtured a passion for rare coins. Market trends for the 1999 U.S. one dime have steadily revealed its rising prominence. Auction records have demonstrated that when a coin of exceptional condition, those that come in pristine, mint-like states, is presented, bidders are not shy about pushing the envelope in monetary terms. While circulated examples might only fetch modest prices, coins preserved in near-perfect condition have been known to break previous auction records, a testament to both scarcity in superior condition and the growing enthusiasm among seasoned numismatists. The collectible market thrives on such parallels between historical significance and physical condition. As noted by experts in the auction world, a coin like this often illustrates a clear correlation between the care invested in its preservation and its eventual sale price, making it a prized possession for those who appreciate both history and the art of conservation. Behind the minting process and the design intricacies lie stories and legends that have become a treasured part of its lore. One anecdote that comes to mind is the unexpected surge in interest by collectors in the early 2000s, when a batch of coins that appeared to have been struck during a particularly experimental phase of production was discovered. These coins, with slight variations in the depth of the lettering and a more pronounced rendition of Roosevelt's features, stirred conversation and debate among experts. Some argued that these differences might be indicative of a short-lived production method that was soon abandoned in favor of more standardized practices. Others believed that these coins symbolized a daring experiment by the U.S. Mint, a brief moment of risk-taking that added an element of mystery and value to the coin, much to the delight of collectors. Such nuances and rare production quirks have contributed to the coin's mystique, painting a picture of a transitional period in minting that resonates deeply with those who follow the craft. A particularly captivating aspect for seasoned collectors is the way condition influences value. While there is a general consensus that coins in exceptionally preserved mint condition are the most prized, many collectors appreciate the layered story that circulated coins can tell. Each mark, each slight imperfection born from decades of handling and circulation, speaks to its life beyond the mint. This duality, that a coin can be both a pristine example of craftsmanship and a living piece of history with its own wear, offers a rich tapestry of collecting options. Enthusiasts often debate the relative merits of a coin in perfect, untouched condition versus one that has garnered some wear but might have been handled by a notable figure or been part of a significant transaction in the past. This dynamic adds an extra dimension to the collecting process. It's not merely about the potential investment or rarity, but about preserving a narrative that is as tangible as the metal itself. Collecting coins like the 1999 dime is akin to curating a personal history museum where every piece has its distinctive chapter. Whether you're admiring a deeply struck specimen that showcases every minute detail of its design or a circulated coin that hints at years of history embedded in its surface, the journey of acquisition and authentication is an adventure in itself. The passion that drives collectors to seek out these coins often goes beyond mere aesthetics. It becomes a pursuit of preserving an era, capturing the fleeting moment when history was being made in a small mint facility somewhere in the United States. As collectors inspect their coins under magnification, they're not just analyzing metal, they're piecing together the legacy of a nation's journey, embedded in the form of a humble dime. In casual conversations among longtime collectors, it's common to hear reflections on the communal experiences shared over the years, trading tips, exchanging stories, and even reminiscing about the thrill of spotting a rare coin in a pile of otherwise ordinary ones. This coin, with its blend of modern minting techniques and classical design, has invariably sparked such conversations. It serves as a testament to the fact that even in a highly digital age where physical money might be less in everyday use, the charm of tangible, collectible coins continues to grow. The passion surrounding them endures, proving that the allure of historical artifacts transcends not only age but also time itself. This coin segment wraps up by reinforcing that the 1999 US one dime is more than just a piece of currency. It's an artifact steeped in heritage, technical nuance, and subtle storytelling. It remains a cherished emblem of the American minting tradition, captivating the imagination of those who appreciate both its artistry and its historical resonance. Whether you approach it from a purely financial perspective or as a passionate believer in preserving history, the 1999 dime commands respect and inspires conversation among those who have spent years nurturing their collections. The journey of its discovery, preservation, and eventual celebration in the auction halls exemplifies the spirit that drives collectors everywhere, the quest to own a piece of history, one coin at a time. Now shifting gears, we're stepping a few decades further back to a coin that might seem more common at first glance, but holds a fascinating story beneath its modest surface. The 1965 US one dime is one of those pieces that collectors often associate with a pivotal moment in American numismatic history. This was a transitional year, one where the composition of U.S. coinage shifted dramatically in response to rising silver prices. And with that change came a host of production quirks, mixed metal oddities, and a brewing storm of collector intrigue that still lingers today. In 1965, the U.S. Mint officially ended the use of silver in circulating dimes, shifting instead to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This wasn't just a technical adjustment. It was a fundamental transformation in the monetary system. Up until 1964, dimes were 90% silver, and because of the skyrocketing value of silver bullion, people started hoarding coins for their melt value. The government needed a solution, and quickly. What followed was a move to the clad coinage system we know today, an outer layer of copper-nickel over a pure copper core. But here's where it gets interesting. Because anytime there's a major change like this, a few strange things are bound to slip through the cracks. And sure enough, with that chaos came one of the most elusive and fascinating modern rarities. The 1965 Roosevelt dime struck on a 90% silver planchet. These are the unicorns of the coin world, few, shrouded in mystery, and very hotly pursued. The theory goes that leftover silver planchets from 1964 were still hanging around the mint as the new clad pieces were rolling out. A few of those old blanks accidentally made it into the presses and got struck with the 1965 date, creating a coin that was never supposed to exist. These weren't errors in the traditional sense. They were transitional anomalies, born from a logistical bottleneck in a moment of rapid change. And that's exactly the kind of thing that makes collectors' hearts race. Spotting a genuine 1965 silver dime takes a trained eye. You can't always rely on color alone, especially if the coins tone with age. The key identifiers are weight. Silver dimes are heavier than their clad cousins, and the sound they make. Old-school collectors will tell you, a silver coin rings differently when dropped gently on a wooden surface. There's a distinct high-pitched ping compared to the duller thud of a clad coin. Of course, for authentication and serious valuation, testing and third-party grading are essential. But that initial thrill of suspicion when a coin just feels different, that's what fuels the chase. When it comes to value, this coin is a classic example of how a seemingly minor detail can result in a dramatic price swing. A regular 1965 dime, copper nickel, worn down from circulation, might not be worth more than face value. But a 1965 dime struck on a silver planchet? That's an entirely different story. Depending on condition and certification, these rarities have sold at auction for thousands. One verified silver 1965 dime fetched nearly $9,000 at auction a few years back, sparking a renewed wave of interest. Suddenly, coin jars and old piggy banks were getting an extra careful inspection. The thrill of finding one tucked away in circulation became the numismatic equivalent of a winning lottery ticket. Beyond the silver anomaly, even standard 1965 dimes have drawn attention in recent years, particularly when found in exceptionally high grades. While they're not rare in the traditional sense, billions were minted. What is rare is finding one that survived the decades in flawless condition. Mint state 67 and higher examples are few and far between. The U.S. Mint was under pressure that year to churn out massive numbers of coins quickly, so quality control wasn't always top-notch. That means dimes from 1965 that escaped the fate of pocketware, cash register clatter, and sock drawer exile are gems in the truest sense. Some of these high-grade examples have fetched between $500 and $1,000 at auction, and if a truly perfect specimen ever showed up, you can bet it would push even higher. One of the more compelling stories tied to the 1965 dime revolves around the Mint's decision to leave off the mint mark entirely that year. Before then, a small letter under the date indicated where a coin was made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint made the controversial decision to remove mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding. They believed collectors were snatching up coins based solely on their place of origin, creating artificial scarcity. The absence of a mint mark in 1965 was meant to level the playing field. Ironically, that move ended up creating more buzz and confusion among collectors. People started wondering which mint produced which coin and whether certain ones were rarer than others, despite the lack of visible distinction. That uncertainty only added to the coin's mystique. Condition, of course, plays a huge role in determining a 1965 dime's value, especially if it's suspected to be silver. Circulated versions, even silver ones, tend to lose some of their sharpest details. Look closely at the hairlines on Roosevelt's portrait or the fine ridges of the torch on the reverse. These are the areas where wear appears first and most obviously. A well-preserved example with crisp detail can command significantly more. And if you ever come across a coin that feels just a little too hefty or shows unusual luster, get it weighed. That tiny difference in grams could be what separates a common clad coin from a rare silver anomaly worth thousands. At the end of the day, the 1965 dime is more than just a product of its time. It's a symbol of economic shifts, government intervention, and the unpredictable charm of transitional coinage. It reminds collectors that even the most familiar denominations can hold secrets, and that sometimes the biggest surprises come in the smallest packages. For seasoned collectors, the hunt for a silver 1965 dime represents that perfect blend of rarity, history, and hands-on detective work. And that's what keeps the hobby alive, the idea that history isn't just something you read about. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly at the bottom of your pocket, waiting to be rediscovered. Coins like this blur the lines between intentional design and accidental legacy. They serve as case studies in how human error, policy changes, and sheer chance can combine to create something truly special. Whether you're in it for the investment potential or the joy of uncovering history, the 1965 dime, especially the elusive silver version, is a perfect reminder of why we collect. Because every once in a while, you find a coin that wasn't supposed to exist. And when that happens, it feels like the past is speaking directly to you.